Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining the third and last training by research session. Thank you so much for taking the time. So just as a reminder, the first one we had was on Julien presenting his experience from the ECOSOC training on climate negotiation, so training to professionals. Yesterday we discussed, a lot of us with passion, about how to make interdisciplinarity more visible. And on this last session, Helen is going to present some results of a questionnaire that we shared among beneficiaries of some of the training by research activities that we have been conducting in IPORA. Helen, the floor is yours.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. As Joanna introduced, I will be presenting feedbacks from survey we did a month ago on interdisciplinary programs that were offered by IPORA. And we want to nurture discussion on building an interdisciplinary community. What are the prospects and what are the challenges? Next slide, please. Okay, thank you. Okay, just to give a background why interdisciplinary approach matters. This presentation was supposed to be done on Tuesday to guide following up presentations, but due to program reshuffle, it was presented today. So you might wonder why we are going a bit back. So anyways, let's say a few things about the interdisciplinary approach, why we want it. You know that today we are facing various complex, not complicated, but complex problems, including climate change, geopolitics, technological disruption like AI, which demand intervention from various disciplines. So interdisciplinary approach often integrate theories, methods, and perspective from multiple fields. And by doing so, they broaden understanding of problems, innovate solutions through methodological complementarities between different disciplines, and they will lead to stronger relevance, or that we can be able to produce outputs that have stronger relevance to policy and practice. So one way of fostering or stimulating interdisciplinary approach is to give interdisciplinary trainings so that we can form or build interdisciplinary communities which bring students, professionals, practitioners, professors, or academicians together to solve problems, complex problems, or address them, co-create solutions, or share knowledge. But there are challenges to forming interdisciplinary communities. We have a cultural barrier because every discipline has its own way of defining problems, accepted methods of analysis, or standard of evidence, and also what's counted as success differs from disciplines to discipline. So that's cultural barrier. We have communication issues because we have different jargons, methodological differences that could hinder mutual understanding. There's also institutional constraint, which is linked to lack of incentives, recognition, and funding opportunities. Because often career progressions are measured based on achievement in disciplinary fields. So researchers might be a bit hesitant to spend their time on interdisciplinary works due to lack of recognition. So time and resource constraint, interdisciplinary projects often require more coordination effort because they involve people from various disciplines with different priorities, different timelines. When we also face this in IPORA, whenever we want to meet, everybody has its own priority, timeline, and so on. So this creates a challenge. Now coming to IPORA interdisciplinary programs. It is repeatedly said that IPORA's objective is to address complex problems within Africa. And to build interdisciplinary community, we were offering various trainings, which includes the Bordeaux Summer School, which is often given between June and September, which this year's registration is also open. The Africa Graduate Program, it was launched in 2022, also involved various masters and PhD students. Interdisciplinary seminars, we have online interdisciplinary seminars. For about 2 years, we were conducting seminars online every 2 months or so. I have also in-person seminars or trainings which are conducted or which are on different topics. There are tutor projects which often involve 4 students from various disciplines, and there will be one supervisor. They will work on a specific project, and finally they will produce results and a report. And we have interdisciplinary placements, which involve mobility of students across different universities. And the aim is to equip postgraduate students, masters, PhDs, and postdocs, and also early career researchers with interdisciplinary skills and networks. So last month, we conducted an online survey to assess the impact of these training programs that I just mentioned. And the objective was to assess the impact of the training on academic as well as professional trajectories, identify the strengths and weakness, explore barriers to interdisciplinary engagement, and how can we strengthen alumni networking and collaborative initiatives. So the method, as I said, we distributed a survey in online surveys to about 262 participants, former participants in interdisciplinary programs, which was mentioned earlier. We have both open and close-ended questions. The sections covered include participants' profile, their training participation, in which of the training modalities did they participate, and assess the weakness and strengths. How does the trainings impact their career, and what was the obstacle for interdisciplinary engagement, and whether they have further networking interest or to be included in the interdisciplinary community or not. So let's start with the respondents' profile. First, the response rates, I think it was quite low. It's about 24%, only 58 people responded. Most of, a large percentage of them were male respondents, and they aged between 25 and 44. We have more respondents from public health, economics, mostly from these two departments, and also from political science. We have about 12% of the participants or the respondents. Their educational status, most respondents are PhD students with different kind of contract. We have also master's students having the largest share. And again, when we come to institutional affiliation, most of the respondents are from University of Bordeaux in Addis Ababa University. We asked them whether they are currently involved in a research project or not. About 60% said, yes, we are currently involved in a research project. So these are some of the preliminary findings. This is the perceived impact of the interdisciplinary trainings. As you can see, there is overall positive perception. Most respondents agree or strongly agree that the trainings broaden their knowledge, they increase their understanding of other fields, they understand method complementarity between different disciplines, they feel more easy at interdisciplinary platforms after the trainings, also broader their research view, they have now more broad research view, and also they established cross-field connection or connection with people from different disciplines. So overall, there is a positive perception. There's also a question. These are some selected question results. It's a fairly large. We have a lot of questions, but these are selected ones. They were asked whether they involve in an interdisciplinary project following the training, and 57% said yes, they did. And they were also asked whether or not they made new contacts after taking the trainings, and about 76% also said, yes, we have established new contacts. So we have questions specifically to the tutor project I mentioned earlier, which involve students from various disciplines, and they work with a supervisor on a specific topic. And they were asked whether or not this tutor projects increase their communication skill, understanding of other methods, cross-disciplinary questions, if they establish a long-term connection, or whether it makes them reassess the method that they were applying before they involve in the project. Overall, there are also positive feedback here, but there is some reservation because about 10% of the respondents did not perceive this benefit. They say either I strongly disagree or disagree that these objectives are attained. So this shows there is areas for improvement when it comes to the tutor projects. So this is about the strengths of the current training formats. So the most highly rated one is about the diversity of discipline represented. Most say I strongly agree that the diversity of discipline represented is wide, and the quality of the speakers was very good, and most topics discussed were also relevant. Also, interactive teaching method and networking opportunities were rated positively, but there is room for improvement here as well, because some respondents say they either disagree or strongly disagree that the training formats have interactive teaching methods or networking opportunities. This is the weakness. Aspects which require attention include lack of follow-up after training. We say often after trainings are given, there is a lack of follow-up. We don't continue. I mean, everybody will be going back to their disciplinary work. So there should be institutional setup to follow once the momentum for interdisciplinary work is created. And lack of training in interdisciplinary methodological tools, and lack of time for discussion, especially for the seminars that we have. The respondents say that the time given for discussion is very limited, and that should be given emphasis and should be improved in the future. So logistical organization or difficulty in understanding between disciplines were also emphasized. So this this needs further improvement in the future as well. So barriers for interdisciplinary engagement, the main obstacles were identified to be structural or organizational, which includes lack of opportunity, funding and networking. The participants or respondents say that because not a lot of opportunities are there or fundings are limited for interdisciplinary work, that serves as an obstacle for effective engagement, while individual factors like lack of interest does not appear to be that much of an obstacle for an engagement. These are opportunities for interdisciplinary engagement. The participants were asked what kind of future engagement they are interested to participate in the future. The most rated one includes methodological workshop. Most people showed interest to participate in methodological trainings or workshop or international mobility programs to move from one university to another. And also post-training follow-up is also rated highly. Future networking or collaboration. This is how do you want to contribute then more say that I'm willing to connect to former participants of the training. Most participants also showed their interest to join alumni network and receive project opportunities. In addition, receiving the IPORA newsletter was also considered to be useful by the respondents to strengthen future collaboration and networking. So the key takeaways, or what we learned from the survey, from the preliminary findings, there is overall favorable evaluation. There is a positive perception about the impact of the perceived impacts of the trainings. Participants gain networking skill and new ideas. The diversity of speakers, the diversity of disciplines represented, speakers' quality, and the relevance of the topics were the strengths of the program, but lack of follow-up and lack of training or interdisciplinary methodological tools, and shortage of discussion time often for trainings or seminars needs to be improved. Future opportunities, we saw that there's a strong demand for alumni networking, workshop, and mobility. So what will be the next step now? We will reach out to participants who express their interest in joining the interdisciplinary community, and then we will explore opportunities for collaboration. How do we go about it? So that would be the next step. Okay, so I think that's it. Topics for discussion. So this is just inductive questions. You can rate anything you want. How to build sustainable interdisciplinary community? How do we go about the prospects, and how do we tackle the challenges? What are the what training follow-up strategies can we follow? What are the methods for interdisciplinarity, and how do we touch them? So thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Helen. Maybe we can put the questions back on, because I think these are interesting sort of entry points in getting your insights and maybe experiences as how we can further strengthen our training by research opportunities. And as Helen was saying, sustain the community of these youngsters and even us ourselves in interacting and collaborating on the longer run. Can we put the last slide back on? Yeah, thank you so much. Floor is open.
First off, thanks, Joanna, Helen, and the whole group for doing this. It's putting together a lot of the activities that we've been doing, and it actually shows how much is there and how large is our community. It's interesting to know from the community itself. I was wondering whether in doing so, we should also try and benchmark a little bit, say, yeah, is there anything else that exists that we could learn from in terms of how others do? Maybe they're not exactly like us, obviously, but yeah, what can we learn from others? And I'm sure people in the room have also other experiences. So I was wondering whether that should also be part of our diagnostics to move forward.
So thank you very much for the nice presentation. Maybe one experience building on what Tanguy has said is to benchmark and see the experience of ANH, Agriculture for Nutrition and Health. So they're trying to link up agriculture, nutrition, and health. Of course, they're quite related, but it's one way of, they have scholarships, they have trainings, but also I think every month or so a seminar, and it comes also with funding rounds that people in this sphere can compete to, etc. So maybe one area among others that we can look into and see what we can learn from that network. It has existed for quite a while now.
Yeah, thank you for your contributions. I think having contact people that we can reach out to and get good ideas from and kind of share our lessons learned and experiences would be really, really amazing for this second stage. I think I mean, we see from our experiences in the past years that we have repeated really great events, like, you know, at one time point, maybe 2 or 3 in a year, we meet, we get together, it's super exciting, we discuss for an hour or 2, and then in between those, I think the students or participants who have been exposed to that feel maybe a bit left alone, and I think this dynamic of sustained and regular interactions and forums to discuss and learn is a challenge to sustain. I mean, we've said that repeatedly. We are a limited number of more senior researchers who have the capacity and the time to stimulate that and accompany that effort. So I think it's also thinking about the model. Who is in charge of that? Who has the time, the energy to do so? How can we capacitate the trainees to actually organize themselves also? So it's a big challenge ahead. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going to cross.
Sorry. Again, I think there is a lot of experience in this room. Please, everyone should contribute. But one thing I was listening to you right now, Joanna, should we have a federation? I mean, should we be federal in a sense? We could have, you know, things happening regularly here in Addis on a regular basis. Same in Abidjan, same in Bordeaux, same, and then have federal events every maybe 3 months, etc. So to sort of the federal events are difficult to organize, but maybe there could be these I don't know how to say, state level events that could be more regular and easier and lighter to organize. For your question.
Thank you. It just occurred to me there are at least 3 universities that are part of the IPORA, 4 universities, sorry. I forget Bordeaux all the time. But focusing particularly on the 3 African ones for a reason. Do you have any plans to encourage within each university to initiate this interdisciplinary culture and practice, which obviously would be the lasting impact of IPORA? Thanks.
Maybe Helen, you want to respond for Addis?
I mean, I don't have a straightforward answer for this because if I take for the AU's experience, for instance, integrating not only interdisciplinarity, but even one program has a significant process. You have to come up with a curriculum. That curriculum has its own process. You have to do need assessment survey, and then the curriculum review committee has to review it, and then you have to have staff in place, resource. You need resource, financial and human resource. But as IPORA, of course, that is our objective. We want to, me and Joanna and the rest of the team, we were discussing about having at least one interdisciplinary program, for instance, in Addis Ababa University. But of course, we are constrained by the factors I just stated. We need finance, we need human resource, we need and so on. So, but as an objective, as IPORA, of course, we want to sustain it within the universities. We want to create that culture, and we want to be there for lasting effect. Yeah.
Obviously, a program would be ideal, but as you said, a lot of work would be required. But suppose you start small with an cross-departmental seminar series, or if you push, maybe a research project, but a simple cross-department seminar series would be a start.
I completely concur, and I think this is what we've been trying to do in the past 4 years within each of the universities. In Félix Houphouët-Boigny in Abidjan, there have been several department seminars around one topic, bringing different lecturers and different students together to discuss one topic that you can address from different angles. I mean, Professor Tanon, who is here, Professor Yobwe, they've done that in their specific fields, and with success. There was a lot of attendees, and the model is actually replicated. So building from small, as you say, small events, nurturing that culture of discussing together and meeting and sharing viewpoints is exactly what we're doing. But we're trying to address that from different angles. Small things, bigger things. Our aims are high.
Thank you, Helen and Joanna, for the presentation. 2 pointers. Already, I think in the different universities, there are interdisciplinary initiatives. AU has thematic research, collaborative research. They give grants. Usually people from the different departments come together and they try to work. Probably we have not studied how interdisciplinary approaches work, but there are initiatives. I think IPORA can also try exploit such kinds of initiatives within the respective universities. Another point, yesterday we had a very good discussion about AI, how AI is emerging an important, like, technology, innovation, the good and the bad sides of AI. Maybe in the interdisciplinary training approaches, exercises, do we need to add how AI could help interdisciplinary research? What do you think?
I'm not the right person to respond on any AI-related question. My brain shuts down. I'm so sorry. But point taken. We only have just a few minutes left because the other session is going to start soon. I really wanted to pick your brains about this last point, methods, because I think what most of our trainees have been expressing is that they really appreciate when they get together, they work together like we are doing right now from our different perspectives and different disciplines, and we try and understand each other's language, viewpoints, methods, and basically we are learning by doing, isn't it? It's been like 4 years, so each time we see each other, we understand each other a bit more, we try and work together on projects, so we're learning by doing. And we accept that because we have the age that we have. But for maybe more younger students and early career researchers who are more focused on what specific training am I getting, what methodological training can I get to work in an interdisciplinary environment, shifting my brain to working interdisciplinarity. How do we teach them that? What are the methods that we need to put in place to teach that? One of my colleagues that was supposed to be with us yesterday, Céline Thiriot from Sciences Po Bordeaux, she's always telling us that you can't teach interdisciplinarity. You just have to do it and you learn from scratch. But I think we probably need a bit of both, and we probably need some strong methodological, I don't know if it's strong, but at least some inputs for maybe youngsters who may feel panicked, not knowing how to go about it. So I just wanted to pick your brains on that. Véronique.
Merci. Bon, moi, je pensais que, pour moi, on va descendre plus bas. Parce qu'aujourd'hui, on est tous des chercheurs, on est confrontés à justement l'interdisciplinarité à travers IPORA. Sinon, peut-être qu'on le faisait, mais on n'y pensait pas. Pour moi, à partir de la L3, en tant que président d'université, je parle en tant que responsable d'université, quand les enfants rentrent en master 1, master 2, normalement, après, il y a le choix entre le master recherche et le master professionnel. À mon avis, il faut mettre des modules au niveau de master 1 ou 2, que les enfants, dès qu'ils commencent les masters, apprennent déjà ce que c'est que l'interdisciplinarité. C'est vrai que peut-être ça ne s'apprend pas, mais ça se vit et ça se prend tout seul. C'est-à-dire, c'est commencer à mettre des TP, par exemple, des modules déjà, parce qu'il faut savoir qu'est-ce que c'est que la sociologie. Parfois, la sociologie, ma façon de définir, cette science n'a rien à voir avec le sociologue même qui va dire. Ça veut dire que nous-mêmes, entre nous, les différentes disciplines, on ne les connaît pas. On peut prendre la décision de sensibiliser à toutes ces disciplines-là au master, au niveau des masters, et puis après, voir comment on peut travailler ensemble. Quels sont les défis que nous avons dans notre pays et l'impact est commun. C'est ça. Quelle que soit la discipline, si on prend un sujet de recherche commun, c'est-à-dire qu'on vise un impact commun. Comment on fait pour arriver à ça? Donc, pour moi, il faut enseigner ça déjà. Enfin, enseigner, c'est pas le mot. Sensibiliser. Voilà. Je préfère dire ça. Et déjà, au niveau des masters comme ça, quand les enfants vont vers la recherche pour prendre un sujet de recherche, où c'est eux-mêmes qui doivent proposer le sujet de recherche, ils peuvent réfléchir déjà à un sujet interdisciplinaire. Ça, c'est mon point de vue.
Je souscris tout à fait à ce que tu dis, Véronique. Je me posais juste la question des injonctions en fait auxquelles on est soumis nous en tant qu'enseignants-chercheurs, où en fait les étudiants, les doctorants, etc. ont besoin de repères pédagogiques, de compétences spécifiques qu'ils acquièrent, et c'est comme ça aussi qu'ils progressent. Et c'est vrai que c'est pas forcément évident à caractériser dans un enseignement en interdisciplinarité. Et je pense qu'on a un travail peut-être de formalisation de certaines choses autour de ça, et sûrement à apprendre beaucoup hors du réseau IPORA qui est quand même petit, donc il y a peut-être beaucoup de benchmarks à faire par ailleurs. Mais je pense qu'on a quelque chose de l'ordre de la pédagogie et d'arriver à ancrer et consolider en fait ces compétences et ces savoirs et savoir-faire qu'on enseigne, quoi.
So I just drank coffee, so bear with me. But no, I can be a bit on the sky sometimes. So maybe two things. One is how to make it pragmatic. So I think someone that is, it's a full-time job to do it on top of other commitments, makes it impartial, although one can try its level best. So it's an area where program full-time assistants, and ideally the right person who loves engaging, etc., could be hired on a full-time basis, and the researcher is at the back trying to orient how things go to make it doable, and otherwise it's quite difficult. The other thing is, how can we involve people whose performance is evaluated on the innovativeness of the education, so people in the education sector. I think it's more related to them to innovate on how you deliver in a new way, so pedagogy, etc. So it may be directly targeted to what they need to achieve in their career. The third would be initiation to appreciate interdisciplinary work. I learned a lot, but I wish I learned earlier some of the things from economics, some of the things from political science. You know, things like, how do you negotiate with your supervisor? So there are fields who deal with negotiation. For me, I would be much more interested and would find it useful. And that would open door to deal with more very discipline-specific things at a later time. But at least, how do you negotiate contractual agreements, you know, things that we face on a day-to-day basis. Political science can help us a lot in this, economics. Yeah, that's the thing. So how can we make it useful in a sense for someone that doesn't know anything, but who's dealing with negotiation every day, for example?
Okay, we have 1 minute left for one last comment, whoever wants.
Very short. We've heard a lot of political science approaches to interdisciplinarity. And in my field of work, I would count things. I would count distances, I would count number of co-authors, I would count impact factors, I would count months from submission to publication. I think we need to possibly also, I don't know, circulate a questionnaire or think about something that will quantify some aspects of the distance between disciplines. I know that when Tanguy wants to publish a paper, it will take 15 years. When I want to publish a paper, it will take 3 months. 17 years, sorry. So what does it say? What does it mean? And sometimes I think some of the things are very practical. It's quite crazy. It's like, it's acceptable to have 50 authors in one of our papers in the Lancet. You guys, when you go above 2, everybody looks at you like you're nuts. So I think we also need to not only have the very, very conceptual things that political scientists can bring, but also very practical things. And if I was to teach interdisciplinarity, I would look into this.
Thank you. I think that concludes our session. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much, Helen, for presenting these findings.